I'm in a poly relationship. The reason why I'm in a poly relationship is because I don't give a fuck if my girlfriend goes and fucks another guy, because I know she's coming back to me at the end of the night. Because we love each other. Because I'm a cool fucking person. I know that.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. When delusion meets reality, you know, Destiny, who's been on Fresh and Fit, and he's been on with Sneeko, and he's done all these. He's a YouTuber, and I don't know what else he does, but he's been on all these like men's channels talking about marriage and divorce and relationships. And I've always said, like, why is this guy on there? He's a married dude who's got an open relationship. That kind of goes against everything that most men's channels talk about. But I guess maybe he's a good interview. I guess it's a good opportunity to get a counterpoint to what people interview him for. I've always just kind of been confused because now, apparently, and I think he's even been on Rollo Tomasi's channel. I'm confused why this guy gets interviewed because as far as I'm concerned, the minute you say, oh, I'm married and I'm in an open marriage, like, we have nothing to talk about. There's no debate. What you do is part of the problem in society, and it's why women view men as weak, and it doesn't bode well for men. So I personally, you know, I will say this much before I get into this. I feel bad that he's dumb. Maybe that's the best way I can put it. I feel bad that he's dumb, and maybe I'll get some hate for saying that, but I'm sorry. We know this doesn't work. He should have known it doesn't work. He had ample warning, and now his wife is bouncing on him for another guy she was sleeping with. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
What else did you expect to happen? So let me get right into it. I'll read the article to give you guys some background. Then I'm going to show you how basically all of Twitter is roasting the guy. Properly so, I believe. From Evie, streamer Destiny reportedly getting a divorce after flaunting an open marriage. Let me say one more thing. Sorry, I do want to get this in there. For guys that are going through a divorce and guys that are going to get dragged over the cold, I do feel bad for them. The problem is he flaunted it. He bragged about it. He acted like anybody that thought differently than him, anyone that thought differently than he did on the topic was closed-minded and stupid. So you get what you're going to get, which is me roasting the living hell out of you. Streamer Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II, who is known as online as Destiny, is reportedly getting a divorce from Melania Goranson. The two are known to have an open relationship. He amassed a large following on social media thanks to his political debates with internet personalities. He's like a far leftist. Self-described omni-liberal. He's not liberal. The blue-haired streamer has always been vocal about his progressive views and his open marriage. This comes from Javier Aliagra. Breaking news, streamer couple Destiny and Melania are going to divorce, or Melina. Melina slept with a dude who Destiny views as toxic and bad. He revealed on his stream he attended a 5-hour therapy session because of it. It's important to know that their relationship was open. Now, here's the thing. You notice who went to the therapy. He did. She didn't. She's just getting her back blown out by some other dude. I have so much to say on this. Destiny, 34, married Swedish-born Melina, 24, so they're about 10 years apart, in 2021. So it lasted, 2 years. That sounds about right. And they've appeared on numerous streams and podcast episodes together. Last year, the two opened up about their relationship on the Lex Friedman podcast. We've got like a long-term friends. Some of them we hook up with, Destiny explained, adding it's a delicate dance that explodes every 6 months in on itself. When host Lex Friedman asked if they ever fought over their situationships, they said yes. Is anyone surprised? Here's a little clip from that. Oh, this is 7 minutes. Holy cow. I'm not going to play the whole thing. Let me just drag it forward a little bit.
For some people, but like okay. I think it's probably easier, and we probably don't really have time or the energy for like more than like one person to like really like.
What about like emotional?
It's really complicated. There's a lot of complicated stuff going on under the hood there.
Yeah.
I think broadly speaking, you've got like polyamorous relationships and you've got like open relationships where polyamorous is like, oh, I've got like 3 different girlfriends and we all hang out or sometimes even live together, or 3 boyfriends, whatever. And then you've got like open relationships, which is like, oh, you know, like you can basically hook up with other people and then you've got like your main relationship and that's it. I think ours is probably somewhere in the middle, of that, to where like we've got like long-term friends, some of them we hook up with, and that's kind of how we, it's a delicate dance that explodes every 6 months on itself.
So it does explode. You guys fight over it?
We fight over some things, yeah. Things happen, yeah.
I think it's mostly because a lot of people can't handle it, and they agree to something, and then they realize that we're way too cool, and then they get really obsessed, and they think that they can like get in there, and then it gets really dramatic.
Have you figured it out? Like, it seems like
I feel like we figure out things more and more, like when it comes to like what's a good person for us to hang out and what's not a good person for us to hang out with.
Oh, well, that didn't turn out so well, did it? I will say this. You know, I never profess to be an attractive man. I don't think Destiny's a particularly attractive man. He's out of shape, not exceptionally good looking. She is cute. And it's different with women because like a woman like this, that's like, even if she's mid or slightly better than mid, can basically say to almost any single man, at least, and sometimes even married men, hey, I think you're attractive. Do you want to sleep with me? And a lot of guys would be like, yeah, like, sure, why not? Because a woman's value is her looks and her, you know, and her body and things like that when it comes to sleeping with them. Where Destiny, if he just wandered into a room with a woman he found attractive or mid or whatever, and even if she found him somewhat attractive, he said, hey, do you want to just go sleep with me? She said, no, you're a creep. Why would she say that he's a creep? Because he hasn't shown status, he hasn't shown value, he hasn't shown he's a leader of men, he hasn't shown that he can provide. You know, those things are kind of grilled in on somebody. So when a couple gets into an open relationship, it'll probably be 10 to 1 where the women will be have the opportunity to sleep with 100 men, can choose her favorite 10, and the guy might be lucky to get 1 or 2, and especially since he's Destiny and maybe he's got some popularity, that might cut him some slack on the looks and the physicality department. This is never, ever, ever a good idea because what it's either the man is being selfish or wants to be selfish, and he proposes the idea, and she goes along with it, and then she's going to get way more activity than he does, or she proposes it, which means that you're not doing it for her anymore, and it's the first leg out the door. We know this. So, again, I keep wanting to say I feel bad for the guy, but I don't. I really don't. He had this coming to him. On the Whatever podcast, the couple explain their reasoning behind sleeping with other people. Variety is fun. Destiny tells everyone at the table, sometimes I want to be with a girl that's Hispanic or Asian. He also mentioned how there are some things that are fun to explore with that everybody might not like. This is what I find interesting is he says, I want to be with a girl that's maybe Hispanic or Asian. I think he forgot about the point where his wife can be with anybody she wants. She could fall for some of these other guys as well. I mean, again, Destiny is not the most masculine man in the world. I'm not going to read down through the rest of this, but you get the idea, right? So what are the reactions online? Malcolm Flex, I think he's a rapper. He's a D1 athlete, MMA fighter, research comment and a commenter. So, you know, here's I think he's somewhat religious as well. Destiny getting divorced after trying to pretend it was a 999 IQ super Chad flex of a move to let your wife get creamed by other dudes. And I'm going to mute this because it's got music, but it's lighting up a cigar and no. I tried to mute that. Sorry about that. He said, rest and piss, you won't be missed. This is from the Whatever podcast. And I'll sum up my thoughts at the end of this here. I'm not going to make this a super long video. Here's him on the Whatever podcast, I think with his wife.
God forbid this happens. Will it be fun if this open relationship ends up causing things to fall apart down the line if one of you guys finds yourself in an entanglement, so to speak, with somebody who you might find a deeper connection with than the other person? Like if that causes the relationship to fall apart, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
No, it would be horrible, and it would be sad.
Do you guys have a high degree of confidence that your marriage will last for decades?
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I fucking hope so.
And someone else in the background laughs. He married her without a prenup, guys. I don't know how much money Destiny has. I'm sure he's quite successful. I don't know how many followers he has on YouTube. It's probably 5 or 10 times as many as I have. So he's doing, comfortably well. She's foreign born. She's now here in the United States. She probably just hung around long enough to get the passport, long enough to get half the cash and prizes. And like now she's done. And she'll get half the cash and prizes, and she gets a green card probably. And there you go. Because let's face it, again, I can't say she's exceptionally beautiful, but she's certainly above mid. And Destiny's Destiny. So, Nick Fuentes is roasting him. That's never a good sign. Sneeko found out. I don't listen to Sneeko, but we can listen to Sneeko's reaction to this because, again, he's another voice in men's content that, has gained popularity very quickly.
Bro, this is Chris from Mr. Beast. Bomboka! Imagine losing your marriage to Chris from Mr. Beast.
Tabitha. I'm Tabitha.
I can't believe what's happening.
Like,
she's literally manlier than him. She can beat the fuck out of him.
Rolo says, for the record, I'd like to express my condolences to Destiny on the dissolution of his marriage. Divorce makes men 8 times more likely to zero out. Just know I'm available to talk whenever you need me. I think that's a very high road to take, and I think that's very nice of Rolo to recommend that. And yes, I certainly don't want Destiny to zero out or decide because the internet is trashing him to take himself out. Again, I would feel bad for him. I really would if he didn't put himself in this position, number 1, and number 2, brag about it. And number 3, talk about when anybody was like, hey, man, are you sure? Like, this probably isn't a good idea. He took the 1,000, like the other Malcolm said, he took the 1,000 IQ of you just don't understand open marriages and you're insecure and he roasted people. He roasted people that were just trying to, be like, dude, here's a video. I got a couple more videos of them now that this has all happened. This says Destiny's wife, now ex-wife, both were in an open relationship. I'm so shocked that she left him for another man.
For guys. I mean, I am pretty extreme and intense as a person. So I guess. And some guys get scared because they think I'm pranking them or something. And I'm like, no, I just want to suck your dick. And they're like, nope, nope. And I'm like, okay, bye. Happens all the time.
That's probably not a good idea if your wife is just walking around to random dudes that she finds attractive and offering to give them hummies. That's probably not a great sign that she's a good person to be married to. Myron Gaines over at Fresh and Fit. I respect Destiny as a fellow creator. Okay, I don't. But I saw this coming a mile away. Me and Destiny debate all the time, but this is why open relationships with women never work. It only works when if the man is open, never if the woman's open. Women can only serve one man at a time, no matter how promiscuous they might be. I think I remember seeing a video clip of Myron over on Destiny's stream dancing with his wife behind him while Destiny was streaming, if I remember correctly.
Right. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
Right? It kind of works. Yeah,
5, 6, 7, 1.
I remember Destiny wasn't looking happy, and I have probably no doubts that Myron threw some sausage into the hole while he was there. They have the text here of his conversation. Destiny's replying to Chocobo Coco. Yeah, I wanted a massive therapy session to see if I could express myself better and iron out some of the boundaries, but it's hard for me to ask for anything if I've been a pushover for so many years. So based on that statement, it does sound like this is something she wanted. He decided to put up with it, either to keep the marriage alive or because he wanted her and just wanted to be one of the dudes on her rotation. He replies, Sleepy Runt, why? This proves every point I've made. Girls can leave you for jobless, manipulative losers if they just play their cards right. That sounds like sour grapes. And he says, Josh, yeah, me discovering boundaries was the death knell in this relationship. So again, it sounds like Destiny was trying to say, hey, you know what? I want to put some boundaries down. This isn't working for me. I'm not happy with what's going on. Probably, again, because she's relatively cute and sounds like she's relatively easy to go out and have the fun. And so she's probably got a line of dudes waiting in line to take their turns, while Destiny probably can't find anybody other than the occasional fan or something or other. I'll leave it off with these couple of things here that I've got. This comes from Unlimited L's. Today's L goes to Adam22. Adam22 and Lena the Plug have just chosen the winner of the Little D who gets to smash her. Now, if you don't know, Lena the Plug is a film star who does spicy content, and Adam is married to her as well as basically her manager. That helps choose who gets to have fun with his wife. Adam22 has claimed it takes a real man to let his wife sleep with another man. Yeah, we're going to find out how this turns out. I have a feeling he's the next Destiny in about 15 hot minutes.
The person who's going to f my wife is Lil D.
Stop playing with me!
Hey, my boy.
All right, bro.
Should we go upstairs right now?
I'm with it. I don't give a f. Let's do it.
Oh.
Welcome to Reality TV 2023.
This is going to be the night of your hey, we're not on camera yet. Okay.
Wait, hold on. My bad.
He just won. Let him touch it.
I got to be the husband of the year. Let me tell you, I am the one. Person.
Just stop it. Stop. This is, this collectively is why women find men weak. I mean, imagine, let's reverse it. Imagine women opening up relationships with their husbands, and then the husband just having women line up for him, and women want to be with him so much that he doesn't really have time to sleep with his wife anymore. Do you think she would find it's a bad idea? Yeah, I guarantee you she would. But what if it got promoted as a great idea? Women around the world would be saying, this is not a good idea, ladies. Like, do not do this. You become a number in the rotation. Same thing. Imagine a woman being a manager for her husband who's going out and sleeping with tons of women. This only seems to go one direction, because if men say even now they have a preference for women to have a certain body shape or to have a certain attitude, like, I don't want a boss bee, I want a girl that's going to cook dinner at home, they're called out for it. But men can open up the relationships, or women can. And in this case, men can, offer their women up or suggest their women sleep with everybody. No one seems to really have a problem with this. I mean, conservatives, very conservative people do, but the mainstream doesn't. You don't see any State departments going after, the feminists that want to end men and talk about doing negative things to men. But you've got FBI investigations into men's spaces. Because of what we say. You notice it's always against the men, unless the men are doing something stupid that does something great for women, and then it's yay, go men. Lastly, let's see. I think I've read all those. All right, lastly, I got two screenshots here I want to go over. This is from Only Fools. Somebody posted this on, looks like 4chan. My girlfriend started an Only Fools 2 months ago, and after 1 month, she only had one follower, me. So, first of all, you let her open. And when I say let, if she says, I'm going to do this, and you stay married to her, you're letting her do it. If she says, I'm going to do this, you leave her. That's not letting her do it. That's you. So it's not that men need to control what the women do. It's that men need to control themselves when women start doing things that are stupid. So she did it 2 months ago and only had one follower. She was upset, and I felt bad for her. I decided to create multiple accounts and subscribe to her so she would be happier and more encouraged to continue with her journey. Recently, over the past few weeks, she has been messaging one of my accounts, which uses a very handsome male profile picture, and she's been hinting at meeting up with him. I don't know what to do right now. Do I tell her the truth about what I'm doing, or continue pretending to be this guy to avoid upsetting her? She's mentioning being willing to fly out to meet this dude. I think her heart would be broken if I told her. Now, do you notice something? This cuck Everything he's talking about is how do I protect her? How do I make sure she's happy? How do I make sure that she's okay with this? Instead of having the masculine frame, the man's view of this, which is, wow, I shouldn't let her, like, I'm not going to let her have an OnlyFools account. I'm going to leave. And that's it. But being a dummy, he goes ahead and goes to it, and then he decides to support her instead of saying, look, it's been 2 months. Obviously, there's not enough people that are into your content. Let's just drop it, move on with our lives, delete it, so your stuff isn't on the internet for forever. That would have been his second best save. But instead of doing that, he tries to encourage her. And on top of that, she goes out and starts to flirt with one of the guys. And instead of saying, hey, you know something? I see you're flirting with this dude. Obviously, our relationship's at an end here. You're flirting and willing to meet up with another guy that's a stranger on the internet that I made up, and so I know what's going on. Our relationship's at an end. Instead of doing that, now he's like, should I tell her the truth, or should I continue to pretend to be this guy so I don't upset her? See, this is the ideal man. This is what women want today. This is what they want their men to be. Be a provider, be a protector, sleep with me when I want you to sleep with me, and other than that, I'm going to do what I want to do. And this is one of the things I have actually that I have that's negative to say about some of the men's spaces is sometimes pearly things. Pearl said this. Sometimes Fresh and Fit have said this, where they're like, well, a woman's place is in the home to cook, and she needs to, serve me, and I'll make the money. And because I'm providing for her and making sure she has a secure home, I can go out and sleep with whoever I want, and I can do whatever I want, and she needs to serve me. See, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with the unfairness of that. Because if you find this upsetting, then you should equally find a man doing it to a woman as upsetting. This is not, because neither, like in that case, the woman gets, hammered. In this case, the guy gets hammered. People are trying to figure out this really unique way to make relationships work. And I'll tell you the way it's worked for forever, and it will still work. You take away the punishment for divorce. You take away the unfair punishment for child custody and child support, and make divorce equal. Make it even. Make it proportional. If a man makes 62% of the money and the woman makes 48% of the money, then maybe he can write a check for 5% of his salary to her for the first year until she figures out what's going on or can adjust. Do something that's very fair like that. If they have equal custody, nobody's passing money to each other. And they have to have an agreement that each partner will pay for certain things for the kids based on their percentages of salary. It's very easy to do, but they don't do it. But first you start with that. And then what's next? It's a 50-50 relationship. But here's the 50-50 that's always worked. The man works really hard at work, and he puts up with all the crap at the job, and he works the overtime, and maybe he gets the part-time job, and he does the struggle. And she stays at home with the kids to give them a good family raising without weirdos at some of these facilities and learning about all the crazy stuff. She teaches them at home. And maybe even homeschools them. And she cooks a meal and does some laundry. Keeps the house neat. It's worked for a millennia. But now everybody thinks they need to reinvent the wheel because, we're in the 2020s now. And lastly, I just thought this was kind of ironic. This Daddy Danny, I got dumped over my new piercing, guys. And this is from a David. He said, I don't really like your piercing. Now, this was going around on the interwebs as guys, be careful, she'll break up with you because you got a piercing she didn't like. But here's the thing. This is from David. And her name is Daddy Danny. So this is a guy breaking up with her because of a piercing. I don't really like your piercing, he says. I don't know what to tell you. He said, good night. Good night. I think I'm done with this. She says, if that's your final, then okay. Yeah, that S made me find you so unattractive. All right. I'm going to block your number. Don't message back. Okay. I took you off social. Okay. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is coming from a woman to a man. Maybe it's from a man to a woman. It doesn't really matter. The point is, instead of saying, I don't really care for your piercing very much, you know, if you're in a relationship, if you're like in a long-term relationship, I wish you would have kind of floated this by me. I don't really like it. Oh, well, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, well, I find it less attractive on you. I would appreciate it if you removed it, or I'm less attracted to you, and I that's up to you. And if they're like, no, I find the piercing more important to me than you being attracted to me, well, that tells you everything you need to know about the relationship, and you can say, okay, well, if you want your piercing more than you want me, we're going to call it a day. Now, people say that's unfair, but I don't think that's unfair. When you're in a committed relationship, you got to make sure everything's okay with each other, because if someone says, I'm going to keep eating and I'm going to get fat, and you say, I don't find that attractive, and they say, well, I'm going to keep doing it, they're saying, I like food more than our relationship. And then you say, okay, then I know where I stand on the pyramid, hierarchy pyramid. I'm below food that makes you feel good. I'm below whatever, McDonald's. See, but we've gotten away from the ability to communicate. We've gotten away from the ability to think long-term instead of our immediate desires of, oh, I'm in a good relationship. Look, she's a pretty woman. And Destiny should if she was a good woman that was really going to be by his side and not open the relationship and all that other stuff, he should say, I don't want an open relationship. I should feel lucky to have a woman in my life that treats me well and that is pretty. But instead, Destiny says, I want to also sleep with these other women because I'm selfish and I want the instant gratification in the moment, and I can't think longer term than what's right in front of me because apparently I'm a goldfish. That's what relationships are turning into now. And she's doing the same thing. She said, hey, you know what? This guy's not exactly good looking, but he's popular. He's got money. Maybe I can get a green card. He's going to let me sleep with whoever I want, and he's going to provide for me and pay the bills. I'm in. Of course, why wouldn't she? She's not looking at the long-term ramifications of, you know, what does a body count like this? What does an attitude about sleeping with other people do to you? What happens when your face, ma'am, is all over the internet because of what you did to Destiny? No one thinks long-term anymore, and that's really why society collapses, because you're not worried about planting the tree that you'll never enjoy, but the next generation can sit under and enjoy the shade. Now what they're doing is they're looking at that shade tree, and instead of saying, I'm going to sit under the shade tree and enjoy it, and my kids can, and the next generation can, now what they're saying is, I'm going to chop down that tree and make a swing out of it, and I don't know, a pile of firewood. And I'm not going to plant another tree to replace it, and thus we'll have another tree. And no, they just raise it all to the ground. Crash society, burn it all to the ground. Who cares? Because I'm getting what I want. And I did the Dink video yesterday about the dual income, no kids. And I was pushing against conservatives, saying, you know, the reason why I was pushing so hard against conservatives is because they were saying that, you know, we're kind of evil people. And I had a phone call there. Sorry if I got distracted. When I was talking in the Dink video and the Bachelor video, what I was saying is like, yes, they're you know, bragging on social media, and they have to be in the center of the limelight and all that other stuff. But if they want to, you know, just F off and not have kids and goof off and do whatever they want, that's fine. Like, I feel the same way with bachelors. Do you want to raise a kid in this climate right now, honestly? Do you want to try to get married in this climate? Do you want to try whatever, you know? The reason I was so angry at the conservatives is because they're calling us names. They're calling, like, they didn't say deplorable. I forget all their names, but, like, we're destitute, two brain cell morons. And that's where I take fault, is when you start taking the low ground of just calling us names when you disagree with us. But the whole point is, that generation, no, they're not leaving anything behind for the next one. And neither is anything else. Neither is anyone else. And right now, the ones that are leaving something behind for the next generation, which is like conservative families and maybe like Christian families, things, people with value, they're being attacked now by the media and by our government saying they're the bad ones. Do you really want to try to raise your kid amongst that? Me personally, I don't. That's why I say, you know what? No one's planting trees for the next generation. Everybody's selfish. Everybody wants to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And that's fine for the occasional person. I know, because I am one. But when no one does anything for the next generation, and when I mean no one, I mean our government, people in power, and people that actually can do things like that, then, you know, things are going to get pretty bad. I think it will have a bounce back at some point. But when this is what's being passed around as acceptable and normal, and when where's the other thing? When you're, you know, you're handing your wife off to even though I mean, she's doing it by her choice, but when you're handing passing your wife off to some dude that's going to go out and plow her out, when this is the new normal, how much do you really want to leave for the next generation? Maybe I'm a nihilist now, but you know what? We got a big fight ahead of us. It's culturally, against the government, against society. We got some rough days coming. That's all I'm saying. We got some rough days coming, guys. As always, if you like my work, please join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. I do extended content over there often that you guys don't get to see here on YouTube. And please become a supporter today. It's like $5 a month, $4 a month if you decide to hook me up for a couple of months in a row. I would appreciate it, and we'll see you all next time.